Alrighty. So, good morning, everybody. And let me share my slides for the day. So, present, present. All right. So, let's start with creating portfolio. This one is for Gabe. So, I know you guys already submitted your portfolio, no midterms, but um, I want to talk about more, especially for I was hoping because more grade 12s will come because around this time you're already looking for college applications. And if it is in an art school, it is going to be kasamang portfolio. That has been before. I don't know now, or I don't know where Gabe is going to apply, but a lot of the past students, especially those who want to study abroad, portfolio talaga hinihingi eh. I remember sila Ailey, what's this, Caitlin. Yeah, portfolios are very big, especially in college application. So, portfolio is a collection of your best works and accomplishments. It's used to evaluate and assess. So, if you are also going to go into a company, especially if you're going in as an artist or anywhere touching the art field, they are going to look at your best work. So assess and evaluate. They're going to be looking, ano bang kakayanin mo? Anong kaya mo dito? So what determines a good portfolio? You should show a little bit of the process along with the product. So some portfolios might just have like one pager lang na yung meron silang parang collage of them painting or doing their process. That is a good thing to have in a portfolio para kumbaga makita nila na this is how I do it or I'm really doing things this way. And it tells a story and it tells your passion. So your artwork will tell ano ba talaga hilig mo. I've known some artists who will do nothing but paint flowers and that's their passion. They won't paint anything else but flowers. And of course, it will demonstrate straight your skills and your knowledge, especially of the art form. So, what to put? Well, first of all, you should have an amazing eye catching cover because uh, don't judge a book by its cover does not apply here. They will judge everything on the cover because it's the first thing they will see. If your cover looks good, looks professional, they'll open it. If it looks like a kindergarten put together and swallowed it and spat it back whole, uh, they might not even bother to open it. So you need an eye catching cover. It's best if you have your resume inside because your CV is everything. You'll need a table of content because your whoever's gonna look at it, titingnan nila ano bang mga laman nito. That's the first thing that assessors, especially if you're doing this for college, they will look eh, ano bang laman ng iyong portfolio. Don't forget your about me because this is a portfolio that is all about you and your contact details. So it should have maybe a paragraph or two about you and then your contact details. So naka bullet points na sa baba. Your email, your cell phone number, your if you have a website, if you have a Facebook page, Instagram account, or whatever, nando. But only put the professional ones. Don't put your personal social media accounts. Then, of course, your best works. The best works are usually 3 to 10. There are some portfolios, tatlo lang yung laman, but man, they are the best. So don't just put a mishmash of everything. Your portfolio is actually very curated then. I once had a mistake when first time ako nag-apply. Ganun kakapal yung aking clear book. It's got everything. Pictures of shoes, drawings of bodies, what's this formal attire, casual attire, anime drawings and everything talagang yeah. So the next time I walked in, alam ko na if if let's say you're going to a casual wear company, you don't have to put formal wear there. You should only put like casual wear designs or something. If you're going to a CG company, what position are you entering? Tailor fit your portfolio na yun lang yung laman. Because especially ngayon, because portfolios now can be e-portfolios. It's easy to edit it. Sa amin noon, ang training namin was always a clear book. Pumili ka ng maganda, na mahal na ano, clear book. Usually yung clear yung cover o kaya yung black, 'wag yung mga pattern. And magpa-print ka ng sticker where it has your name, contact number, and nakalagay doon portfolio or professional portfolios. Nakadikit sa front, nakadikit sa spine. So when you go to a company and they will ask, may I see your portfolio? Yung inside is tailored na because it's clear book style eh. So pwede mo nang tanggalin or dagdagan ng pages. Back then, ngayon, that's no longer the case. People don't want to see clear books anymore. They want to see digital copies of your portfolio. And of course, it's also nice to have a copy on your tablet or on your phone because you'll never know, di ba? Sometimes on the spot. Eh. Why is it minimum 3, maximum 10? This is the optimal number. That will depend though. One of the students, I think it was Caitlin, who said very specific yung hinihingi sa kanya. Like, three ganito, three ganyan, three ganito, three ganon, totaling a number of 15. Okay, then you tailor fit it to that. So, it was very specific kung anong hinihingi sa kanya eh, for that school. So, that will depend. Okay, so good designs matter. So you have to entice your audience with stunning visual. This is going to be very, very visual. And you're going to have to really treat it very professionally, even if it's just a student portfolio, even if you're just going to college. So, hanapin talaga niya yun eh. So, build your brand and let the world know who you are, di ba? So, don't forget, oops, mali ito. Don't forget the point as a Hume student. Ginamit ko ito for Humes last year. All right. So when you build your brand, um, yeah. Sometimes kasi, parang, I don't know what I want. So, ano, for college ba to, work, career path, you'll have to check that out eh. Kasi if sa portfolio mo pa lang, it looks like you don't know what you want. Di ba, hirap yan. So you want to put different works then. So you're gonna have to really choose well. Just don't put a mishmash of things because if you do put a mishmash of things, it looks like I don't know what I want. So you're gonna have to choose by topic or theme. Let's say you're putting 10. Um, just collate them in such a way they either tell a narrative as the page goes on or nakagroup sila by categories. So you have like a page in between that says like floral painting, let's say floral painting, and the next landscape painting, and then the next seascape painting. So yung mga ganun, naka chapter siya if you have to. And then of course show them what makes you unique. Your layouting skills, kailangan nandito yan kasi what will align you to your chosen path, that will be shown through your works. Diba? Tapos, if you feel like I don't have enough works, I only have two, I don't have three, paano yan? Well, as an artist, you're gonna have to make a new one. Or yeah. Even the other batches said na in some ano nga they ask for 10, but they're very specific on what the 10 are. You have to have um, three standing up, three sitting down. So if you don't have enough works sa ganon, they really work on it. They really have to like draw to add to the portfolio. Next, don't forget your what about me? What makes your views, your artworks worthwhile? So for art portfolio, it is best to just stick to one art form per portfolio because you are showing off your skill. Even if, but miss, kaya ko mag-painting, but kaya ko rin mag-CG, and kaya ko rin mag-filmmaking. Yeah, those are three separate art forms. Best if you have three separate portfolios for them. Unless, of course, the college asks you to put it all in one. But usually, you only choose one art form per portfolio. So maraming artists yan, di ba? Sampu-sampu yung portfolio nila. Kasi sampu-sampu yung kaya nilang gawin. So, ganun lang siya. All right, now I'm going to give you guys samples. Pag this time, you can really see actual samples. So, example, um, you have something digital related. So, first of all, cover first. Your cover should match. So, here are some sample insides of your digital portfolio. Let's say, kunwari lang, I just got these from, what's this, Pixabay. So, let's say your art form is digital arts or 3D or 3D painting. They put a title, your short caption, like, let's say, Magical Elf Girl caption. CG for games and graphic design. Description. I made this in, let's say, Blender and then added some effects using Adobe. And so you write your descriptions here. You could explain the process if you want to. You don't have to talagang step by step the process. You could just give an overall short description. 2, 3 sentences, pwede na yon. So as simple as this, okay na siya. You could also choose to have one photo per page. So this is just a sample naman. All right. So don't forget also, you want to put some processes then. You want to know how you did it, and then at the end of the page, pwede naman yan, either at the beginning or at the end. You can have kahit one page lang to show them that you're doing it. Na yung parang you're painting, nakaganong ka, and then you ask somebody to take photos of you. And of course, don't forget your social media channels, not professional social media channels. So do not give your personal social media channels. Okay, let's say another digital media, movie, video clips, and that type. Um, don't mind this. Sulat portfolio of, sulatan mo yung pangalan mo. So you can put screenshot type. Let's say ganito siya. Example, this is a movie. Let's say movie ito ni Jane Dow. And ito yung portfolio niya for, say she wanted to pursue filmmaking. So you have pictures of the movie. So you can do that. Kasi remember, portfolios talagang flat. It's flat. It's not normally moving, especially when your either clients or school will ask them in PDF form. So what do you do when your digital media or your art form is videos, digital films? So you can do it that way, yung may caption siya of pictures of the film. You could also do kanito. It's just a clip, a screenshot, and then let's say title ng movie mo, caption about your movie, and then you put a bit.ly link or a tiny URL link, and then a QR code para when your client or the school you're sending this to, when they get this, nakaano na siya, nakaganyan na siya. So all they have to do is just scan it and watch the videos on their own convenience. So if this is a digital portfolio then, so it's not printed kasi sometimes talaga printed eh. Let's say it's not printed. Um they can just click this. This should be clickable, itong link. So, iha-hyperlink mo siya. All right. What if it's music? What if your portfolio is about music? So, example, Himig ng Langit, composition of Jane Suminona. Kind of the same, but you don't need to put a clip. You can if you want to, kung gusto mo lagyan ng, like yung kanina, may picture. But usually for songs kasi, so you put like song 1, ano yung title niya? Ang araw or something. And then you put the date that you published it or the date you completed it. It could also be the date where you, let's say, you published it on YouTube or the date that you put it on Spotify. Usually the date that you put is the day you finish the actual song. So lalagay mo yun siya, genre, role and credit. So your role should be first because this is your portfolio. If you're just doing ikaw lang yung kumakanta, edi sabi mo dyan, lead vocal, pangalan mo. And then everybody else, like composed by, guitar, ganyan. Tapos, Ganun ulit, description, let's say, a song about heartbreak. And then your bit.ly or tiny URL link na clickable. And if pwede, yeah, a QR code because everything ngayon has to have a QR code to the song. Let's say it goes to Spotify or it goes to YouTube. So anywhere that they can listen to your songs. Okay, so as usual, you don't need to do like ganito yung three in a page. You could also do one per page. Pero some ano kasi, they want as less pages as possible. So if you can do that in your portfolio and your resume, the better. Because sometimes, especially in big companies, they want it fast. Their headhunters want to like browse through it fast. Ayaw nila yung masyadong makapal. Ayaw naman din nila yung masyadong manipis. So, just have to talagang tatansyahin mo lang talaga siya. So you have to have a good mix of your products, which this would be your products, your process, and all about you, the person. Okay, so ganun ulit. Maybe in the back pages, you can put the backstage or maybe pictures of behind the stage kung nagka-concert ka na or maybe during the recording habang nagre-record kayo ng friends nyo, you can ask somebody to take pictures pag meron kayong ano here na look, we were doing this, we were recording it in this recording studio and things like that. So it's something visual and at the same time it tells a story of how your process is. The schools and your potential clients love seeing that part because it ultimately shows how human you are. Hindi siya ginawa ng AI. Diba? So, okay, show the people the purpose of you. Alrighty, so that is the end of the portfolio. I was supposed to be talking about exhibits for the new normal because this is something that I feel like all art students need to know how to put up their own exhibit because right now we're opening up. So we're not bound by digital exhibits anymore or e exhibits anymore. So I'm just going to breeze through this para we can go to other topics. Okay, so first you need a topic, which is the point of your exhibit. What message do you want to impart to your audience? Example, animal cruelty awareness. So let's say you're going to have pictures of it, or do you want a live exhibit of it, or something? Diba? So what do you want? So you have to know your target audience if you're going for, I don't know, animal cruelty awareness. So sino yung iyong target? So the age range. Yeah, you could say na the age range kasi is very big, but you're gonna have to be very specific when you're targeting this. So example, when I do exhibits in town center and tiendesita, sila naman mahilig mag-exhibit. Everybody else likes ano eh, a show more than an exhibit. So if it's ganon, town center or tiendesitas, they want an exhibit and it's all about animal cruelty awareness, maybe raising money for a shelter or just awareness about a shelter. Our target audience is always bata, like children, like 7 to 10-year-old children. Gender specific, not specific to children, but at least the age range is specific. But Teacher Maita, bakit ganun kabata? Because kung ganun kabata ang tina-target namin, obviously, hindi yan walang kasamang magulang. So, when we target those kids, it's automatically family friendly. Gets? So, alam na namin yung target namin. The target audience is family, but when we're targeting them in our head, we're going to cater to things that these kids would like. So, merong little playground there that they can play with their dogs. There are very colorful things na, feast for the eyes things. You need places where it's Instagrammable because the parents always want to take photos with their kids. So, kung saan yung mga photo wall, meron doon yung mga and animal cruelty, yung mga ganon. Tapos, mga hashtag. So, there. You've targeted your audience. You know what they want. Gender specific. If ganon, 7 to 10-year-old nga, don't forget to target their parents, the mom especially. So, gender specific, girls, mom. Kasi usually yan, Si mami na susunod, si daddy ang magbabayad. All right. So, where are you going to put your exhibit? So, when you are also picking your exhibit, or you could be hypothetical about this. Example, you're going to have an exhibit in CCP, in the mall, in Tramuros, in a bar, in a restaurant. Your venue will also kasi dictate your target audience. So, in the case of Tiendesitas and Town Center, sila mismo yung nag-invite sa amin. Um, they actually also already have that in mind na they want family friendly exhibits that will bring in more people into their malls. So, their venue was already dictated by the target audience kasi mahirap maglagay ng exhibit sa CCP pero family friendly because parents who do go to CCP would not normally bring their kids to CCP. Even if sabi mo, but yes, meron namang mga plays ang CCP for kids. Yes, but not so much. If parents want to bring their kids to watch a play, a dance, a ballet, it's usually in Aliw Theater, yung sa tabi. That's geared towards family friendly and fun. CCP is talagang cultural, medyo serious. On the serious side sometimes. Not all the time, pero yeah. All right. So then you do a SketchUp or a mock-up of how your exhibit's gonna look like, especially when you're answering to a mall or to CCP. They want a mock-up, 3D mock-up kung pwede, of how the exhibit will look. I had an exhibit last month. We did just a quick SketchUp lang on paper para makita nila. And yeah, there. Of course, whatever we sketched on paper, umiba pa rin when the actual thing came kasi maraming nagbigay ng artwork last minute. So we had to try to balance everything by pushing the partition walls and, well, suffice to say, the exhibit looked bigger than it was. But it was attended by Mayor Baste and Inday Sara came din. So they came to support and bought some artworks na rin. All right. So yeah, you can do interesting sketches. Our ano looked like this. Our exhibit looked like this, except walang frames yung aming ano. We did have this, itong pedestals. We had two of those pedestals kasi may dalawang sculpture. Pero these really made the difference. Ito, our exhibit was in Philippine Women's College here in Davao. And they already had this, so we only had to build two or three na lang. And yeah, pero kami nagasto ng paint, so we had to like paint it and then put it there. I think I have a picture there mamaya. So, diba? This is the e-exhibit of CFA for the past 2 years. Ang umiiba lang itong artworks. But generally, I use the same scene in the website. Okay. So this is the exhibit. Oops. Ayun na yun. Sorry. Play ulit. So see, we had these partition. Itong maninipis yung last minute build, but the others, yung makapal-kapal, they already have there. So we had to use what we've got. We had these pedestals. Um, we had, we asked for yung carpet. So at least carpeted siya. And then merong barricades to make sure na hindi pakialaman yung artwork when we're not there. So, okay. Okay, so here are time frames on putting up exhibits. So week 1, you do your planning, get your volunteers. The next week, sometimes medyo matagal from week 1 and week 2. So hindi talaga siya 1 week, 1 week. You get your venue. Venue, if you secure that, okay ka na eh. So ito yung medyo madugo. Once you secure your venue, start getting your sponsors and sourcing all your materials. After that, you orient all your volunteers and get more sponsors. You need to orient your volunteers so everybody has a role. Hindi pwede yung, si ganun will help out. Anong gawin niya? Kung ano-ano. No, you have to be very specific. Okay, who's going to same thing with your production, Gabe. Whoever's gonna help you, you need to assign them a specific role. Okay, si ate said, I'll help you. Then you tell ate na, okay, your role is to hold the microphone, to hold the camera, and to adjust the lighting. You know, it's very specific. You can't just, I'll ask you on the day. No, you have to be, ngayon pa lang, you have to plan out everyone who's gonna be there, who's gonna do what, What will happen if nakulangan ka ng one person who's going to hold the next work, ganyan. Okay. Next, promotion, getting your sponsors, finalizing all your sponsors, finalizing your volunteers, your attendees, send letters to special guests. Gabe, you should be there ngayon. You should be promoting like crazy. You should be getting your volunteers, getting your attendees na rin. Next, buying your materials and building the exhibit itself. Since you're not doing an exhibit, you're doing a um, production. I assume you already have your materials with you, or at least whatever you need. Then your exhibit dates. After that, accounting, because you do have a fundraising component, diba, of your work. Therefore, you have to account. Magkano kinita ko? Magkano yung plinedge ko for whoever? Magkano yung for panalunan ng ano? And then, of course, don't forget to send thank you to your sponsors and your volunteers. Okay, so how much do you usually budget for um, an exhibit? Malaki. Yung exhibit namin costs around 35 to 40,000 to put up the exhibit. Brochure and printed materials, you can do it yourself. So just buy ink kung gusto mo makatipid and paper. But wag mong tipirin sa paper, buy the expensive paper if you're going to print it yourself lang naman. Your woodwork, mabigat. The woodwork, board, glue, nails, paints, around 15 we spent. Madugo is the rental of your sound system. If you're doing flat screen TVs, projector screen, yeah, madugo. Because usually like sound system, 20,000 na yan eh. But if you can get yung mga package na, yung sound system with flat screen or with projector and screen, ganon, so much the better. Lights is also something mabigat. And during exhibits and your production, don't forget, lights is number one. Kung pangit yung lights mo, mahirap. It makes or break the mood of the exhibit. Then you have to have a communication budget. Give each volunteer a week before 100 pesos load for easy communication. Sabihin nyo mag-subscribe kayo ng data please na 1 week. Yung 100 din, ba 90 peso 1 week? Meron nga 50 peso na 1 week lang din eh. You always have to communicate with them, and they cannot have an excuse not to communicate with you. So give them load allowance. Then don't forget to feed your volunteers, especially during the meetings and the dates of the exhibit. And then yung wages ng carpenters, don't forget to pay them. So medyo mabigat-bigat din to put up an exhibit. That's the reason why you need sponsors. Never forget this. In your production, in your exhibit, in anything that you're doing, do not forget this, your technical elements of theater and performing arts. Kasi diba ngayon, I told you guys na medyo malaki ang contents. And most contents, especially ang pinaka-popular content ngayon, is in video format. So lights, set or venue, could be platform din, especially if you're doing like Google Meet or Zoom or something. Sounds, your character design, or if it's an actor, makeup, hair, costume, your props, what are you guys holding, and the technology use. Number one na yan ngayon, technological use. Okay, so these are my reference. All right, so let's start with 21st century skill. I'll delve deep into the CGI in this ano. So before we begin, self-assessment. Teacher Coco, ikaw rin, gagawin mo to. I want you to take a piece of paper, kahit scratch paper, and then you fold the paper into two. On one side, you write everything in the art profession that you want to do. I want to paint. I want to design clothes. I want to do this. I want to do that. Just randomly write them. Anything. Kasi ngayon pa lang you can try visualizing na that this is the part where I could be. Yeah. Diba? Yeah, Teacher Coco has this paper. Let's say, okay, I want to design 3D clothes for Meta. Actually, that's what something that I want. Okay, I will write that in my half of the paper. It's actually big money, huh? I know some people who make $50,000 a month just designing. You don't even have to make the clothes. Well, you do in 3D, but yeah, yeah. So one piece of dress, let's say Alexander McQueen, you will try to recreate in 3D for a person in Meta, not even in real world, can cost up to $20,000. Can't even Hindi mo naman masuot yun. But some people actually pay that
They call
amount.
it some they call it skins.
Skins.
Yeah, they
Hindi
place it
lang
over
skins.
the
Iba pa yung
existing
skins eh.
character.
Skins is talagang the look of your avatar. For this one is clothing lang.
Clothing.
Yeah,
Clothing
just.
or armor, yung mga ganon.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And man, 20,000 just for one clothing that you can't even wear in real life. Yeah. By the way, there's another one naman. I saw news. Um, digital designs tawag nila. So basically gato, mahal siya like pipili ka eh. So merong mga $100, $400, up to $500 na damit. Kala mo susutin mo, 'di ba? What you do is you submit a photo of yourself. Let's say nando kayo sa mall ng mga friends mo. Nagpicture ka. You send the design the picture. Doesn't matter though what kind of picture. You send it to them. They 3D impose the dress on that digital photo of you. Tapos, i-blow up din nila high res. And then send it back to you. That's $500 already. It's like, what? You guys make money out of this? Like, wow, I like this type of work. All right. So, on the other side, you list down the skills that you have now. Anong skills that you have now? Okay, so skills that you want and skills that you have. Okay, so this exercise, don't worry, this is more for our development than anything. Okay, example. See, what do I want to do? Let's say fashion design, costume design, pet design, photography, YouTube star, Instagram marketer, art teacher. And what can you do? Your skills can include I write essays very well. I can sketch well. I've got mad camera skills. I speak well in public. I know pattern making. I passed art school and I have an eye for color. Just examples. You could like list down other things. Just dig deep. What you're gonna do next is based on these skills that you have and the things that you want to do. I want you to draw lines. So one type of skill can actually do a lot of things, like the essay part. Okay, from the essay part, you could be an Instagram marketer when you write good essay, and of course, you could also be a YouTube star and an art teacher because you write very good essay. When you sketch well, you can draw a line to you can do the fashion, the costume, and the photography and the what's this being an art teacher. Those are all skills, di ba? Sketching skills na kaya mong gawin. Your camera skills, that will go well with also fashion design, photography, and being a YouTube star kasi how you position your camera is a very good skill to have when you're doing YouTube. So you know how to make pattern maker. O sige, all the designs fall under the pattern. So lagyan mo na line, 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 line. So you passed art school, lahat yan. You have an eye for color, so you could be a good teacher because you have a good eye for color. Also, Instagram, because you need to make visually stunning Instagram posts. Photography, when you've done a lot of colors. But don't worry if you're not good with colors and you still love photography. There's always black and white photography, very dramatic. So you see, it's gonna look very tangled, but that's okay. That's because one skill can actually be a gateway to a lot of things that you want to become. So we're just going to have to add to our skills para we can become as much as we want to become. So ganyan siya, di ba? Marami siyang yan. So, yeah. Okay, so why do we need to self assess our skill? And what can we do versus what we want to do? In the art industry, kasi it's a very large industry and there are very many avenues to choose from. Teacher Kokoy and I are in different art fields ngayon pa lang. However, at the rise of COVID, we found out that things got so competitive. Why? Because a lot of people made money in the art industry during COVID. So I keep telling everyone since last year, you guys have to skill up here because nobody's gonna wait for you. Nobody's gonna say, kawawa na may mga student natin, di pa sila nakakahinga, may bago na tayong mga competition, may AI, may ganyan, may ano. Well, that's the fact of life. And our curriculum is not as fast in progressing as we want it to be. That's the reason why here in CFA, we try to do things like this. We try to add to the curriculum because we have the academic freedom to really redesign, add, and modify into the curriculum. Pag we want to make sure that you guys are prepared. Ayaw namin yung mga sasabi na, ay, useless mag-aral ngayon. When you get to college, you're in a whole new different world. When you get to the real world, it feels so useless that you didn't learn anything. I don't want that to happen. Now, I'm very proud to say most of the graduate na handle when they graduated grade 12 and they went to either art school or did something, um, they're on the honors list. That I'm very proud of. I'm not gonna back down on my teaching, on how I teach, because I have the numbers to prove it. I have the numbers to prove na pag graduate mo, half of the class who graduated and went to an art school, they're Dean's Lister. When you ask them, hey, kamusta? Did you apply any of our lessons? And they would say, yes, you know what? I did. Thank you for telling me about yung ganon. Now, hindi ako na blindside when we got to the industry. I know so much more than my classmates. I have the upper edge versus everyone. Well, we all need that upper edge. This is art. Art is highly competitive. You need that upper edge. And I'm trying to give you guys that. So let's talk about the art industry, starting with visual arts. So in creative industry one, we've talked about forms of art, which is 2D and 3D. Maraming occupations in that field. Sample for 2D, painter, lithographer, which is a form of sketch artist, then illustrator, cartoonist, tattoo artist, medical illustrator. For 3D, sculptor, potter, mosaic artist, stained glass artist, installation artist, and engraver. Of course, there's so much more here. These are just example. So other things that you can be in the field of visual arts, but are not limited to 2D and 3D. You can be an archivist for a museum or a library or a school, art consultant, art editor, art gallery director, curator. I heard curators have big money na pala ngayon. Especially if you find items for the gallery or if you curate the correct artwork and it made money for the gallery, you get parang mga bonuses yan. Could be a furniture designer, graphic designer, a historian or art historian, art dealer, big money in that too, and art buyer. So an art buyer is someone who buys art for somebody. So kailangan kilala mo talaga yung client mo. So you know that my client only collects certain types of artwork. You need to parang partly curator ka na rin sa kanya eh. So you need to have that curating skill, and pag nakakita ka ng ano, dapat on speed dial na yung iyong client. Oh, I found this painting. It looks like a hidden Monet in this gallery auction. Do you want it? Magkano? Ikaw yung magkano kung makita mo yung work, $10,000 lang. Hindi siguro to Monet. Fake siguro to. You need to have that eye then. So, how about in the performing arts skills? Here's a few of them. So, we have, hindi tayo 2D and 3D ngayon. We have the performer side and the non-performance side. So, on the performance side, you have the performers, teacher, coach, mentor, director, drama therapist, is big now din, choreographers, cinematographers. You could be also broadcaster, presenter, and host. For the non-performers, you could be the agent. Agents make money. Special effects technician, production designer, playwright, screenplay writer, poster designer, set designer, lighting and music technician, costume designers. What about in the outsource industry? So the outsource industry, or the business processing outsource, BPO. It's very hot. It's very hot industry. Globally, the Philippines accounts for 15% of the BPO. So yeah, they want us. They need us. Now, can we provide that need? Because if we don't, they are starting to train Vietnam and Myanmar. So the only upper edge that we have is Filipinos are naturally bilingual. So we have to use that to the max if we can. So the outsourcing industry in the Philippines is the largest private employer in the country. We employ millions of jobs. So what do we outsource? A lot. It's not just call center. So believe it or not, we have the voice and the non-voice service. The voice service is literally the call center that they call. Mag-uusap ka talaga. But there is a call center that's also a non-voice service. So every kind of service that you can think of that you can do online, we service that. We also have the creative outsource industry, or creative process outsourcing. That's also another big money here sa Pilipinas. Why? Because the voice is dying, and the non-voice, then the call center side, is hindi naman dying, not yet anyway, but it's slowing down. There's a significant slowdown because of AI chatbot. Why do you have to hire somebody to talk to when you can just have hire just half na lang? You don't need to hire 100 people, just 50. Mauuna sa chatbot. Actually, ganyan na ngayon, di ba? Meron ka first ka chat sa bank or sa Shopee or anywhere na chatbot. Natatanungin ka ano ba talagang problema mo. And pasikot-sikot ka until they find the root of your problem before you talk to an actual agent. That way, you don't need to spend 10 minutes with an agent. You can spend 20 minutes with a chatbot. But anyways, creative process outsourcing, hindi pa makayanan ng AI. So this is an AI generated thing. I used Canva to generate this. Hindi pa rin ganun ka-perfect ang kanyang proportions. So, hindi pa talaga siya na-outsource. So, some of the things that we do: arts, graphics, animations, games, programming, architecture even, and voiceovers. When my sister's company started, we started art, outsourced ng art and graphics for games. And then from there, na punta kami sa games, as in mobile games, Facebook games, and then came mga programming and stuff. And yeah, for mga small little things, kami-kami lang yung mga naga-voice over, yung mga ay, ooh, for ano, little things like those na for the game. And then we just modify the voice. So I had to do like a boy voice. So I just talk normally, and then we just use the computer to, of course, make the voice very low. Para mukha siyang lalaki or sounds like guy, di ba? Now, do we have big companies lang ba here? Actually, no. We have the independent sectors din who use bridging platforms like Fiverr, Odesk, Upwork, Guru, Freelancer.com, and stuff. Here, especially in Davao, I've seen a lot. And I asked them, how did you get your clients? And then they said, I started with Fiverr or Odesk or Freelancer with them. And after a while, we started to email, and Samla will be, let's work with each other. Wala na si freelancer.com. Swildado ka na. And there. So that's how they came to get their clients. Um, yeah. So there are a lot of independents here in Davao. In Manila, there are din because they have groups of independents. Mahirap kasi to be an independent din in the outsource industry. You can't get insurance because you are not a company, and group insurance is cheaper than individual insurance. So what they do is they came together as a group, so they get things as a group. So they employ the service of accountants as a group. You get a group discount price. You get medical insurance. Kasi remember, when you're nakababad sa computer the whole time, you get a host of a lot of medical problems. So they group together to get medical insurance. Kasi I think for a group insurance, you need a minimum of 10. Now, the games industry. So, the games industry is regulated by the Game Development Association of the Philippines, which is regulated by the IT Business Processing Association of the Philippines and DTI. So, IBPAP and DTI are the ones taking care of these industries. So, this is the GDAP website. You can go to gdap.org.ph to look at that, look at them, and the different studios that we actually do. Many of there are clients, of course, tago. Yung mga clients na ayaw magsabi na nagpapagawa sa Pilipinas, hindi mo makikita dyan, of course. But yung mga iba na okay lang that they're part of the portfolio, they're gonna be here. What about the animation industry? So the GDAP and the ACPI are always in tandem because we need a lot of animation in the GDAP. So that sector also regulated by IBPAP and DTI. So their council is called ACPI. So there they host the annual animation. Even during pandemic, they were just online. So this was 2019, 2020, 2022, 2023. They're all online. So they didn't stop. So what have you noticed recently? Art industry actually crosses each other. The animation industry crosses the game industry, crosses the BPO industry, crosses the art industry. So, same thing with 21st century art. It's cross industry and it's very technology driven. Back to the CGI thing. Um, it does give an edge to those who use computer graphic, kaya nga CG creator, ano, you can use that if you want to be in the game industry, the animation industry, or the art industry that uses computer graphics. Um, I heard na other companies or other countries, yun ang tinatarget natin eh, that our Southeast Asian neighbors will come to us kung namamahalan sila sa Japan. Si Japan naman is happy with that because we did the legwork of translating the exam. It's an exam kasi. We've translated the exam for them. So the hard part is done. And for them, they don't mind kahit na mura yung binibigay nila sa atin compared to if you take it in Japan, that's very expensive and mahal din ang tigas sa Japan. They want more creative people, especially in Asia. Because they're not going to hire a white person, let's be honest. So, the more people who take this exam, it means the more we have a healthy environment for our CG creators. So, kumbaga, hindi tayo may overtake ng AI when we have the numbers to prove it. If that makes sense. So we are actually very technology driven in our art industry. Even sabi mo, let's say, but teacher Maita, I like painting, I like sculpting, I like nananahi ng damit. But even those industries are very visible and very technology driven already. I know this person,
Mm.
he studied in UP. And for the longest time, he was struggling. Sa bahay lang siya nananahi. And siya lang pati nanay niya. And, it's like, but you're so talented. I saw his gowns. They're so great. And, as much as me, my family, my friends, we really want to support him. Now, there's only so much gowns you can, like, have made, diba? I have one gown made. And, yeah. You know what he did? He found the wonders of TikTok and Instagram. Little things like kung gagawa siya ng damit for a client, papakitain niya yung how did I do the butterfly sleeve. Kasi 1 minute lang yung pinapresent niya sa TikTok. Or kung pwede, seconds lang eh. Just a quick on how to do this or how to insert boning. Ganun lang ka-simple. Just one piece of the process. And then, nagkaroon siya ng mga hundreds of views and thousands of views until mas kumita pa siya. Mas kumita pa siya sa TikTok and Instagram than his actual work, yung magtatahi. Now he has one assistant, so dalawa na silang tatahi. So he can film while his assistant sews. Di ba? Parang, oh, that's nice. He still does gowns though because of the social media, people are now asking him to make their gowns. So there, technology drives the traffic to him. Ngayon, he can demand more kasi dati I think he just asked for like 7,000 lang for yung isang gown. Talagang bongga like ball gown. I'm like, tela pa lang hindi ka
Mura.
talo, 'di ba? And so
Masyadong
ngayon
mura.
he can charge 3 times the price na because man, the effort to make that is kulang pa. So but he doesn't want to charge them too much. But it's okay kasi kumikita naman siya sa TikTok and Instagram because
One
of yung nga.
factor is naging famous in a way,
Mhm.
meron siyang reputation
Yep.
because a lot of people are watching him.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Kaya nga, 'di ba parang go. Go. Kasi okay talaga yung ano niya. Doon mo makita na pulido siya magawa based on his videos din. So, yeah. So yeah, that's an example of how technology drives it. There are a lot more examples, of course, but I'm just trying to say that we cannot not use technology, not in this day and age. Um, I told the grade 11s and 12s na the moment you post on Instagram, you're instantly competing in a global platform. And even if you don't post on Instagram, you are competing in a global platform because your audience don't only look local, they also look global. So you cannot just stay inside your bubble. Hindi ka mabibentahan yan. So we need to upskill ourselves with multiple skills kung pwede. You don't have to like master all of the skills, but you need all those little skills because the art industry crosses each other. So with technology, we can also do that. You can study Udemy, even just YouTube, mga tutorials dyan. And what's this? I learn via Future Learn. I like Future Learn. It's free and you even get to interact with your classmates. Kasi 'di ba yung iba like Udemy or yung mga ano pa yung ibang parang ganon,
Domestika?
domestika ba? You can attend the class but because you're doing the free one, you can't interact with anyone. Yung parang manunood ka lang.
Yes, you're just watching
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
recorded video.
For Future Learn, hindi eh. Once you join the class, you can interact with the teacher, although via chat lang, unless they will tell you their Skype address and tell you na my schedules are if you want to consult or email me at merong ibang teachers na ganun. You can interact with your classmates. Merong ang ano eh, they encourage yung, not naman group work, pero they encourage you to check each other's work. So when you turn in your homework, somebody's homework gets sent to you for critiquing and then you have to critique their homework and somebody critiques your homework, so it's healthy that I like it that way because then you will see because your classmate is not from here, your classmates are from abroad, you will see how they think, how your work stand up to them because this will be your either your colleagues or your rivals in that industry. May kita mo what do they think of your work. Some of them will say kulang pa yung work mo, do a better job. Some of them can be really detailed. I like it because good use of ganyan. This idea is very relevant today. Ay mga ganyan. So, I like it. I like future learn. And if I had more time, I would learn more and more. I keep taking specific classes over and over, even if I've already taken them, because iba-iba yung mga classmates. Like the writing, I took it up 3 years in a row. Kasi it comes in ano like every 6 months it comes. So tinataon ko lang siya like this year and then antay ko lang next run next year. Even if it's the same like basic writing 101 or ganun. Minsan meron siyang variation like basic writing characterization. So you're focusing on characters lang. Then I take that. But yeah, I take it mainly because I want to interact with my fellow classmates.
It's ano, that's good kasi in the art world, it's also important. One keyword is network. You
Yes.
have a network of friends and colleagues and
Mm,
people who might not think like you, but can be able to share great insights in the things that you do.
yeah. Yeah. So since a lot of them hindi mo talaga makukuha yung contact nila because the site doesn't allow that. Pero you're allowed kasi to share links. So ang ginagawa nila is, this is my YouTube, this is my Instagram. Usually YouTube and Instagram sila nagpapakita ng ganon. Teachers lang usually nagbibigay ng Skype nila eh. But yeah, I once kinausap ko yung teacher ko doon, na-shock out sa teacher ko. Very French. As in, masyado siyang parang, oh, let's talk casually. So I'm like, okay. Kasi she wants to learn about the industry here. And ako na curious, of course, yung what she wants. Kasi she was doing mga sustainable projects. Tapos, nung nag-meet kami sa Skype, as in, nung sabi niya casualan, yung tipong pati paan niya nakatayo ganon. Tapos, she was picking her nose. It's like ako naman yung parang,
Sobrang relax pala
oo
niya.
nga, napaka-relax. Ganda pa naman niya. Yung parang maganda siyang woman and talagang na-shock ako noon. Casual lang talaga. But anyways, ano lang yan.
So that's an opportunity to be culture shocked para in the future hindi ka na magugulat, 'di ba?
Yeah,
When you're meeting new people, you're shocked a little less.
shock a
Parang
little bit.
hindi ka masisindak kasi sometimes when you're meeting new people gusto nila mayabang sila, like they're better than you. So parang instead of being afraid of the people who do that, parang okay ka lang. You're not super surprised.
Yeah, gusto niya
You can hold
relax.
your own against other
Napaka-relax.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, and because of that, yeah, you get to exchange ideas. She'll get idea from you, I guess, at least what our art industry here looks like versus kung ano man yung what she's trying to do. So, what she's trying to practice, which is more on sustainable art. Hindi siya like art that makes a lot of trash. Diba? Okay, so think hard based on the skills you've listed kanina. Now, what industry do you want to take up or go into? Because sometimes we feel like our skills aren't there yet. But that's not to say this is the final thing. uh, like Gabe, you're still starting in the art industry, diba? You're taking your steps to get there. So, what are these steps that you need to get there? Uh, for something that you really like, everything is now available at your fingertips, and that is literal. So, here are my sources, and thank you very much for joining this activity. And I hope, Gabe, you picked up a lot here from us, from me and Teacher Kokoy, because we really want the next generation to compete. Kasi when we started to teach in art, pwede naman kaming hindi maging teacher. We're happy in our own industry. In fact, we make more money in the industry than in teaching. But especially for me and my mga kapatid ko, teachers din, Lasal and Benilde. And they're like, we want to teach the next generation of artists. And of course, we're also, of course, scoping kung meron kaming ma-hire in the industry on that artist. So my sisters actually hired some students niya. Kaya parang, hey, is this your student? Kaya even in the office, they're like, prof, ma'am. It's like, miss na lang or ma'am, wag na yung prof. Uh, things like those. You guys are the next generation kasi. And it's the reason why we need you guys to succeed because let's face it, after our generation or when we retire, you guys will take over. And then what? Kumbaga, to whom did we leave the Philippine art industry to? So even during this weekend, I was talking to some parents in the book fair because maraming mga parents and librarians. And some of them, kasi tinatanong ko na, oh, what year? Oh, high school. Sang high school kaya? Or what, anong strand niya? And then, yeah, there were a few na from arts and design. And they were all complaining na, ano ba itong arts? Hindi mo maintindihan. It's like, you're crammed full of things to learn, but they kind of cannot be used in the real world. Ayoko ng ganun. When Miss Neri gave me the curriculum, which you can download that in the DepEd website, and I looked at it, it's like I see the direction that they want to go to, but yeah, kulang siya. And that is the reason why there was a lot of modifications done. And I did ask if I can do that, and we can do that because we are privileged to be in a private school. Yung mga classmates ko in master's class, kasi my classmates are 95% of them are DepEd teachers. When I asked them, they said as much as they want to and they hate this curriculum, they cannot deviate from it because in DepEd, yun yung rule. Kung anong binigay ni DepEd, you follow it to the latter. Kahit na parang weird yung kanyang activity, even the activity that DepEd suggests, you follow. Kaya yung pinagtatawanan nila yung mga DepEd activities na sino ba nagsusulat nito? It was in the news. Ano lang, I think October? I think it was in October. I know, Teacher Kokoy, na somebody posted it sa CFA group natin ng mga teachers. Yung, sino bang nagsulat nito? Yung
Parang there's something wrong with the textbook.
Yes, yes, yes. But that is
Yes.
The DepEd textbook, which means that follows the curriculum to the latter. Ang activity doon was interview somebody from World War II. Is there anybody still alive ngayon that was in World War II? Di ba parang, what? Tas-
Mahirap 'yun.
Kaya, I mean, talk about ano. Tapos yung mga comments doon, kasi it was, I think, Inquirer pero online. So, yung mga comments doon in that page, yung mga tipong, how do you conduct the interview with Jabord? Spirit of the class?
Spirit of the glass. And some World War II survivors, they don't even want to talk about it because it's
Hmm.
so horrible, the experience.
And
'Di
by now,
ba?
siguro yung mga veterans na yun would be 100.
80? Yes, at least 90 plus.
Yeah. Are they still compos mentis?
Can they still
Diba parang
remember what happened?
veteran from the war. Tapos make a PowerPoint. Yung mga ganon. Yeah, I mean, I guess if I
Well, the
were
intention was good to meet someone and talk to them and learn from them, but it might be difficult to yung hanapin mo yung specific person of that age.
yeah, yeah. And the other things din, tinanggal ang history from the curriculum, from the high school curriculum. So you get HECA C, grade 4, 5, 6, and then after noon, wala na. And HECA C, surface level lang. That's why during grade 11, Gabe, I don't know if you encountered this with teacher Kokoy. Pero di ba parang nahirapan pa tayong lahat with the, ano ba to? It's hard kasi to tell you guys the context of spoliarium, especially if you don't know history. So, for us, on our age ngayon, 30 plus na kami, nagdaan kami sa history in high school. So, we assumed, when it was my first time in CFA, I assumed they knew at least Luna and Rizal and Balagtas, di ba? And may isang student, umiyak talaga siya. I said, what's wrong with ano? Miss, hindi niya kilala si Balagtas. Umiyak na siya. Ikaw, kilala mo si Balagtas? Hindi rin po, miss. Oh my gosh. And then I went to hunt down who's the grade 10 teacher. And then doon ko nalaman. Wala, wala, wala. And then the next weekend, it just so happened, I went on yung talk ni Ambet Ocampo. And while we were waiting for him, katabi ko was a history teacher in LaSalle College. And then siya yung nagsabi na wala na kaya. Kasi that time, kaka-implement lang ng K-12. It's like, nawala na kaya? Wala na kayang history sa high school curriculum? Optional na lang yan for schools. But since ang dami-daming subjects ng grade 11 and 12, hindi na yan nilalagay ng school. Ang lalagay nilang extra subject na yan, especially for the private ones, is yung Saint. Kung sino man Saint, Saint Lasal, Saint Benilde, or kung ano ka. si ano Ignatius de Loyola for Ateneo.
Ateneo.
So yeah, you don't have enough time for another subject, especially something as heavy as history. So ako nahirapan on teaching Spoliarium, even Van Gogh, because I had to like take up the life and time of Van Gogh, and the reason why ganun yung painting niya or ganun yung movement at that time. So yeah, history is a skill that's disappearing, and I hope we don't disappear that, because it's part of our identity. And if we lose that, wala mawawala yung ating identity. And some people don't care because they feel like we're competing globally naman eh. So, I hope not.
But
Anyways,
then,
yeah.
something na the culture, it's something we can bring to the table.
Yeah.
We can be what you're presenting, what makes you Filipino.
Mm. Yes,
If
di
you
ba?
don't know your Filipino history.
You're teaching ano pa naman, developing Filipino identity in the arts.
Yeah, so it's actually parang a large part of it is Filipino history because how do you develop identity if you don't know what it is, what it being Filipino is?
Yeah. Yep. Yes, kasi ano eh, look, other cultures are keeping their culture. Why can't we keep ours? Kasi if we are too much into Western culture na to the point na nawawala na yung atin, ganyan, whatever that US dictates, follow lang tayo. So, para tayong cattle.
Yeah,
We wouldn't know how to
like like when you say
navigate.
the word like when you say the word cowboy, kilala mo agad US. When you say the word ninja, kilala mo agad, oh, it's Japan. When you say
Manny Pacquiao.
panda, is that it?
Oo nga eh.
Mm,
That's it. There's one word that defines Philippines. What is it? Manny Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao.
Why? Why? But
So,
yeah.
well, he's a famous Filipino, sure, but there's a lot of many famous Filipinos throughout history. And if we don't get to learn about these people, sayang,
Mhm.
mawawala yung true Pinoy pride natin.
And besides, if you use Manny Pacquiao as an example, not that he's the worst person in the world, he's an okay person. He's a good person with a good intention. It's just the people around him medyo questionable. But here's the thing about the Manny Pacquiao sensation.
Image or idea.
More yeah, the idea, the sensation of it. He was winning a lot noon pa. Hindi natin siya pinansin. Isn't that sad? Hindi natin tinangkilik ang sarili natin. It wasn't until the likes of Trump, Kardashian, and all those other famous people who were uh, betting on him versus the other guy, dun lang natin napansin, uy, the influencers, movers and shakers of Hollywood and politics of the US, lahat sila boto kay Pacquiao dito sa boxing match nito, 'di ba? Pustahan man 'yan. They're all pro Pacquiao versus the other guy. And then Pacquiao won, and then suddenly, oh, ano to, heroes welcome and all that. Only when pinansin siya ng other people. And that's been a trend sa atin. Kasi the same thing happened sa Azkals. Azkals, di natin sila pinapansin. But when people abroad started to praise them, all of a sudden, wow, ganon. And I think that's been pointed out by Gasaldin in his essays. So he saw that hundreds of years ago, and it's still happening now. So that book, which Teacher Kokoy put in the classroom, is still very, very, very relevant today. So if it's very relevant today, it means we have not changed. We have not learned our lesson. And usually, and here's the thing about history, if you still haven't learned your lesson there, history is going to make you learn the lesson the hard way. So I hope we don't come to that point. Yeah, but anyways. Okay, so Teacher Kokoy, let's end this session so Gabe can have lunch. So Gabe,
Okay,
thank you
thanks.
for
Mm-mm.
joining us. Let me end the recording.